If you're a first-time horse buyer and you're looking for the perfect horse, I'm going to help you with some tips on looking for a good temperament in a horse. That's going to be your first thing you look for. If you don't have a good temperament in the horse that you're looking at, then you might as well go home and look at a different horse, because unless you're a trainer or someone who's experienced, you need a horse that you don't have problems with off the bat. You don't want to get hurt, and you don't want people that come to see your horse get hurt. So I'm going to try to help you get a horse that has a good temperament. The first thing you want to do when you get to the house of the person who you're buying the horse from is have them go out and catch the horse for you. If they already have the horse tied up, you don't know if they had to chase that horse around, and you don't want an issue with a horse that you have to chase around and shake buckets for, and sometimes they don't even come for that. So you want to have them go with you, have them go out, catch the horse right in front of you, put the halter and lead rope on, and if they have a problem putting that halter on, then that's one of your first signs that it's not used to being messed with, because it should always, from a young age, be able to put the halter on. They should be able to lead that horse out, and the horse should stay right next to them or slightly behind them and next to them. If the horse is pushy, shoves into them, pulls them, doesn't want to move, any of those signs, then you know this horse hasn't been messed with too much, because any horse that's been messed with for riding or anything, just to have around, it should be a very easily led horse and with no real problems. So once they have the horse tied up for you, anything you want the horse to be able to do, which is touching it everywhere, you want them to be able to do that in front of you. You don't do it first. You let the owner do it. You don't actually get near the horse until you see the owner do everything first. So the horse needs to be touched on every part of its body. You're going to need to lift its feet, lift its tail, put your fingers in its ears, put your fingers in its mouth. They have to be wormed. And so that's one issue. You have to worm your horse, and if you can't get your finger in there, you're not going to be able to get a syringe of a wormer in there either. So you're going to have the owner touch all over the face, over the eyes, in the ears. Stick your finger down in the ears, all over the feet. You want them to lift the feet for you so you can see them, that they can lift the feet, clean, and pick them out, and that the horse doesn't have an issue. If you want to get more into it and you're going to do your own horse's feet, file your feet, you may even ask them if they could pull a file out later and show you that too. But you're going to let them touch on it. Touch all down the legs, underneath. If it's a male, you're going to actually need to touch the sheath of the horse, which is, the private area on a male horse. And for your first time horse, you don't want a stallion. You're going to want a gelding. Do not get a stallion. And more likely than not, for your first horse, you're going to want a gelding. Mares will sometimes get a little moody during their time of the month. So if you want a good, consistently emotionally steady horse that doesn't give you problems at certain times, a gelding is what you're going to want to look at. So you're going to watch them do the feet, each one, see how the horse acts with it. Watch the temperament. You see that the head is not raised up high. The eyes, you don't see the whites of the eyes. The ears are forward. They're not back. She doesn't look stiff. All those signs are signs of a horse that's upset and can lash out at you by kicking you or running over you. So you don't want any kind of tense looking, you don't want any kind of tense looking attitude. Or her ears are a little back, but they're not pinned back. It's a whole different thing when you see See how they're forward? That's what you want to see. The eyes are calm. The head is down. These are all good size. Her eyes are actually closing halfway. You want to see a calm horse, but you don't want to see an overly calm horse. Sometimes people give a horse drugs before you come out to calm them down. If you notice the horse doesn't look very alert, or it's just looking too lethargic, it could be drugged up. So you want to look out for a horse that looks alert but looks calm. So after the owner goes over the horse, now you want to go in and just remember, when you go into this horse, you still don't know it, and you want to stay safe. So you want to stay safe. You want to stand safe around the horse, where if anything does occur, you're not going to be injured. Right about here is a good safe spot, but when you got to touch it, so you got to go in close. So the closer you are to the horse, the better, because if they do decide to do something, it'll more or less push you out of the way instead of kicking you out of the way with force. So you come in and you just start, give them a little rub. Let them know you're friendly with them. And rub them on the head. Get their ears. You want to be able to mess with their head a lot. You're going to have to do things. You got to groom them. You got to put their head stall on. If you're going to ride, you have to be able to put a bit in their mouth. So, and you've got to worm them. So, you want to be able to put your finger in there. Will they let you? Okay. Yes, she will. So, she doesn't throw her head back. Well, she did a little bit afterwards, but not while I was doing it. So let's try it again. She'll let you. Rub them on the face. Touch their eye very gently. So I could touch all over here. She doesn't have any problems. She's not throwing her head back. She's not acting crazy. So when you come in close, just in case. You don't, know how they'll always react. Touch them all over. You want to touch their teats. You have to clean those. Right in between there gets a lot of dirt and grime, so you'll be having to clean that out when you bathe them. You want to be able to touch under their tail, all back behind here, and you want to stay in close. Now, you probably don't want to walk around behind the horse. You don't know the horse yet. So you probably want to go around the front to get back to the other side. But once you know your horse, if you do decide to walk behind a horse, you want to come in close to it, because that way if they do decide to do something, you're close and not far. So it more or less will push you and not just completely kick you out of the way. And when you're dealing with horses, don't be so scared. You have to be able to touch them, pat on them. Because if you're all ginger with them all the time, they get used to that. You want them to hear some sounds and, get used to that. Now, if you don't know them too well, you may start off a little gingerly. And then after that, you can go ahead and get into it a little and pet them up pretty good. She likes it. So you're looking at, see how her eye looks closing. She's enjoying it. She's not freaking out. She looks like she's about to go to sleep. So you're going to want to pick the feet up for yourself. Make sure you can do that. Now sometimes they might be a little stiff. The more you do it, the more, the more they get used to you doing it. Especially a big horse. Get them lined up so they can lift their feet up. mess with their hoof, see how they like it, how do they act. She looks good. She hasn't looked freaked out. You kind of let them know you're coming by touching down their leg a little bit. And another thing, when you're messing with a horse, you always want to dress safely. You want a pair of boots on. Don't wear sandals, you know. If they do happen to step on your foot, it can get painful. So you can see she let me pick her feet up, so that's a good deal. So I think that's one of the first things you want to look at. The temperament of the horse. How does the horse act? Is it calm? Is it well behaved? Is it pushy? Does it try to knock you down? Does it try to move your feet? You don't want a horse to move your feet. You always move their feet. The boss is the one who makes the feet move. And you want to make sure you're moving their feet and not the other way around. Like the video and subscribe to my channel. There's more to come. Horse. You want to go and I'm going to punch you out. Perfect horse. We're looking for I can't do it.